What does the South, crazy relatives, and witches have in common? Well, you're about to find out. So, the South and crazy relatives already have things in common because it's the South and crazy relatives. I mean, there are plenty of people who are related to each other more than once, therefore that alone is crazy. I personally am related to myself more than once, but that'll be a different video for another day, so let's just focus on what this is. What those two things happen to have in common is this book right here. Beautiful Creatures. It's by Garcia and Margaret Stohl. It was published by Little Brown and Company, and it was published back in 2009. It's the first book of a series called The Castor Chronicles. It's a young adult romance and fantasy type novel. I liked it because of how much southernness was in it. I'm aware that's probably not really a word, but I'm using it anyways. There is so much deep-rooted Southern culture because this book is set in Gatlin, South Carolina, which may or may not be a real town. I'm not exactly sure, and I haven't bothered to look at it. So yeah, that's just where this book is set. And it's a present-day novel, and it's about this high school boy whose name is Ethan. So he's in this small southern town, and what do small southern towns generally do? They stick their nose in everybody's business, because that's what you do in the South. You stick your nose in everybody's business because everybody knows everything about everybody. And this book addresses that. This book has a lot of similarities to a great classic, which is Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird, and that is mentioned within the first 100 pages of the book. And that is what kept me engaged in this book. Because yes, the love story that is in this book that a lot of people do actually like, I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it was definitely overdramatic and very Twilight-like. As in the, I cannot live without you, I would rather die than be without you. Yeah, that's not really my kind of thing. It was that kind of love story, and the chapters that focused on their romantic relationship, they were very boring, and it was kind of a pain and a half to read it. All of the chapters that talked about like the war between states and how important it is that you know your family tree, like those were the chapters that kept me entertained, because like I said, I'm born and raised in South, and I can't tell you how many times I have been drugged to a graveyard because some relative was buried there. I mean, this book was well written. The amount of literary references, that alone proved that the authors, they are well versed in what they do. Because they're able to reference things like T.S. Eliot, Ernest Hemingway, Robert Frost, Harper Lee. Like, there's so much stuff that is like literary greatness in this. And I like that. I like it when I can find literary greatness referenced in a book. I love it. It makes my English brain go, wee! Yes, that happened. Don't judge. So I give this book a 3.5 out of 5. Just the amount of dramatics that go into the whole love story, it's not really my cup of tea. I like the romances of Jane Austen. That's my cup of tea. It's still a good read anyways, especially if you appreciate Southern culture and literature and just all of that. And being raised with all of that made me very happy. So that's the video for today. See you later. British tea, yay. Bad jokes. Yeah. Especially if you